Hello, and welcome to Spokane County Spotlight. I'm your County Commissioner, Josh Kerns, and today we're discussing some great ways to have fun in Spokane County this summer. To get this started, let's talk about one of my favorite summertime activities, which is visiting our Spokane County golf courses. To join us for this discussion, I'd like to introduce my first guest today, which is Spokane County Parks Director, Doug Chase. Doug, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. Before we dive into discussion on the golf courses, could you give our audience a little bit of background about yourself?
Oh, sure. Actually, I'm born in Washington, grew up in central Washington with strong roots to the Spokane area where my folks and grandparents and family grew up. So it was only natural that I make my way over here to enjoy school at Eastern and ultimately working here in Spokane County, and absolutely love it.
All right, all right. What inspired you to start a career in parks?
Yeah, I think in Washington it's almost impossible not to appreciate the outdoors. I just grew up hiking and biking on the lakes and rivers, and I mean it just came natural. It was just right there, and that's what we have. And I think since that time, just growing to appreciate that and having an opportunity to contribute to our parks and those open spaces and helping others to enjoy them, it's just always something that I've really enjoyed.
All right, fantastic. What's your favorite part about your job?
I think hands down my favorite part of my job is helping people, working with people, taking challenges and improving and expanding access to these great places, protecting, preserving them. But really, when I have an opportunity to visit these wonderful spaces with my family and just seeing the smiles and whether it's children on the playground and watching my kids grow up with that, to the trails, ball fields, it's just so rewarding. And I feel so lucky in this field. It's just so rewarding to see, to directly see members of the community enjoying the facilities that we offer.
All right, that's wonderful. So let's dive into talking about the Spokane County golf courses.
Well, sure.
So could you give us a little bit of an overview on the three Spokane County owned golf courses, Hangman Valley, Meadowood, and Liberty Lake?
You bet. Hangman Valley is located along beautiful Latah Creek, and it's in the south part of the county. All three of our courses are 18-hole championship golf courses. They're in fantastic condition. We had some extra time and a little less use for a while there in the spring, and the hardworking staff really took advantage of that. And so they're in fantastic shape. Liberty Lake and Meadowood golf courses. Those two county courses are located in the city of Liberty Lake, not far from our Liberty Lake Regional Park. In fact, Meadowood was named as one of the top 10 courses in Golf Digest years back. And again, just beautiful 18-hole golf courses, just fantastic.
They are gorgeous, and so for everybody watching, I think Doug and I definitely give our stamp of approval. You will love our golf courses. They are beautifully maintained, amazing world-class courses.
They really are.
Yeah, I'm sure some of our viewers would like to know what are some of the precautions that we've taken to keep our patrons safe if they visit one of our golf courses from COVID-19.
Yeah, there are quite a few guidelines out there, and I'm very pleased to say that they've worked very well with the golf courses in terms of really minor inconveniences for the golfers and maximum enjoyment. We are taking precautions, of course, within the clubhouse. Face coverings are required within the clubhouse per the governor's most current guidelines. We are employing social distancing practices, additional cleanings in line with CDC guidelines, with our counters and public areas and facilities. So the clubhouse is very clean. With our driving ranges, we have spaced out each location is at least 10 feet apart to provide that additional social distancing per guidelines. And again, we've tried to implement these in a way where our customers arrive, and if it's all coming together as it generally does, they hardly will notice the difference. They just notice they have a little more room to hit balls at the range, and it's great. There's a few changes in on the golf course itself. To minimize touch points, we have blocked out the holes per the guidelines, so you won't have to reach into the hole to grab your ball, and so there's a little cup or a foam partition to block that right there, and again, still have a fantastic time. And so that's working out very well, and again, encourage social distancing within the course and along the course. So it's nice, you're in the outdoors, and with that distancing, one can still remove your facial coverings when you're out playing and properly social distance in line with all of our current guidelines. And they're doing very well. So folks seem to be embracing it, and we're all getting into our new routine.
Yeah. So you did reference that the courses were closed for a period of time in the spring.
Yes.
How does that impact the financial outlook of the courses?
Yeah, and that's an unfortunate reality. We were closed for about 5 weeks per the governor's order, and again, the staff was busy behind the scenes caring for the golf course, but that did have a significant impact on our operations. We're currently about $250,000 behind, or $250,000 in arrears in comparison to what we would ordinarily have brought in. So we've worked to reduce some of our capital acquisitions short-term this year that were budgeted for the very specialized equipment that we use to care for it. We've scaled back a little bit on our staffing and taking whatever means necessary to be able to accommodate that reduction. And we're hopeful it's a short-term, kind of a one-time deal. And if that's the case, we're optimistic there'll be very minimal impacts long-term to the courses. I think perhaps the most noticeable one is with the raking of the sand traps, or the lack of raking of the sand traps. Our staff we're not able to leave the rakes out for obvious reasons, and so again, we ask people's patience with that. So.
Okay. What are some of the other activities that are offered here in Spokane County that you'd encourage families to take advantage of?
Yes, all of our parks are accessible. We have several trailheads within our conservation future sites. Glen Rose, Stevens Creek, to name a few, are very, very popular sites. We have webcams. I want to say we are up to about 4 of those sites now with webcams where our visitors can take a peek before they head out and see that there's adequate parking. So I would absolutely encourage folks to get out and explore. And one of our conservation areas, our traditional parks, are very much active, open, accessible. We have pickleball. Pickleball, my goodness, pickleball is popular. And growing in popularity, our Prairie View Park, we just added an additional windscreen up there by popular demand. And that was a little project that we added. We have sand volleyball courts. And in the near future, we will have pickleball courts and sand volleyball courts up north at our Bidwell Park that's under construction. So I can't quite send folks up there yet, but I can't help but mention it because we're so excited with the progress that's coming along with the construction that should wrap up in the fall up there. But we have many sites and throughout the system, ball fields, triangle ball fields, rectangle ball fields, and with groups of 5 or less, there's some opportunity to get out and really enjoy those sites.
All right. Well, Doug, I think we're coming down to the end of our time here, but I want to thank you for everything you do for the Spokane County Parks, Recreation, and Golf Department. You always just have such amazing news and updates on the great things there are to do in Spokane County. You truly help make this a wonderful place to raise a family. So thank you for everything you do for the county and for our residents. But before we end our discussion on Spokane County's Parks, Recreation, and Golf Department, we'd like to show you a short video here that highlights some of our incredible facilities and amenities.
Spokane County Parks, we proudly serve and care for over 14,000 acres of park properties and various facilities and amenities that serve the community. We have 31 full-time employees that are very proud of what they do. When I think of Spokane County Parks, I think of really 2 items come to mind, and that's community and economic development. In terms of services, we provide aquatic facilities, championship 18-hole golf, 3 different courses. We have our Conservation Futures program. We have your traditional parks. We offer several recreation programs, adult leagues, and we accommodate many large events throughout the park system. We have a tremendous amount of successful partnerships to help market our community, to get the word out. Folks want to know, businesses want to know what facilities and amenities related to recreation, whether it's programming or wandering on your own, what is available to do.
What a great video to showcase all of our Parks, Recreation, and Golf Department has to offer in Spokane County. Now, I'd like to transition to the City of Spokane Parks and Recreation Department. Joining us now is the City of Spokane's Parks and Recreation Director, Garrett Jones. Garrett, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Before we get started, could you give our audience a little bit of background about yourself?
Perfect. So I'm the Director of Parks and Rec. I've been the interim or the real director since about 2 years now, but been with the department since 2008. Started as an intern while I was going to school at Washington State University. First full-time job for the city was the landscape architect, and I've been there and loved it ever since.
All right. What was it that drove you to pursue a career in Parks and Recreation?
You know, originally was never on my radar. Always loved landscape architecture, but I got to say, it's the people. It's all working with our colleagues, working with our citizens, and the interactions that you have with our community really sold this industry for me.
All right, fantastic. The main focus of today's show is really to focus on what are the fun things to do over the summer in our community. And I know one of the very popular things in the city is the city pools. Could you maybe give us a little rundown on what the situation looks like, what are the available options will be as far as aquatics go in the city of Spokane?
Absolutely. So we own and operate 6 aquatic centers across the city, 17 splash pads within the neighborhoods as well. And since the phasing with COVID and the stay-at-home orders, a lot of the aquatic opportunities happen in phase 3. So unfortunately, we're still in that phase 2 time frame. So when citizens drive by a lot of our parks, they'll see that our pools are full. They're ready to go. We've worked with our elected officials, our park board, city council on looking at unique opportunities to still provide some type of aquatic experience once phase 3 happens. So we're kind of in the holding pattern right now. We are looking at some other opportunities in our splash pads to see if there's any flexibility there, just like playgrounds. But summer's here and it's going by fast too. So it takes about 4 weeks to ramp up our aquatic centers. So it would really only be about the month of August that we'd be able to provide that. Okay.
Well, so we will stand by and see where we end up. Outside of the aquatics facilities, what are some of the other great activities or facilities that are offered by the City of Spokane's Parks and Rec Department?
Yeah, great question, because that's one reason why I really drew me to this organization is just the broad activities and facilities that we manage. So throughout the city, we have the aquatic centers. We then also own and operate 4 municipal golf courses, just as the county does as well. We have also our Finch Arboretum, Riverfront Park, and some of our other crown jewels like Manitou, and then just over 4,100 acres of open space, whether it's conservation land or neighborhood parks. And then a wide range of recreational activities, and also help manage 6 community and senior centers.
Okay, wow. I learn something every time I do this show. You know, I know the city and the county has collaborated quite a bit during these challenging times. But could you give us a little bit of background or explanation on some of those collaborations?
Yeah, and I think that's been one of the biggest positive pieces out of all of this during this the toughest times that we've gone through here in a long time is the collaboration, communication, and just working together. Early on, we knew that communicating to our citizens on what our protocols are, how we communicate to our citizens, were very important during this time. And to have that dialogue and be consistent with whether you're in the county or city, the average citizen wants to see that consistency. So we reached out when we worked with the county on protocols for our golf courses when they opened up, protocols on different programs, our operation models, and how we're maintaining our parks. And a prime example is working together of the 4th of July celebration, looking at creative solutions to still provide great opportunities to the citizens that are safe, and having that drive-in model of a fireworks show across the county was a huge success.
Yes, no, I've heard from many families that attended the one of the 4 locations for the drive-in 4th of July celebrations, and they all just said it was fantastic. They loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I was at Dwight Merkel. It gave me goosebumps afterwards. People are honking and shouting, and it's just 6 minutes of joy that's worth it. That's what the community needed. So
yeah. Regarding the spaces and programming that the city offers, what are some of the other ways that things are going to look different when folks visit any of those locations?
Yeah, so our general parks, we had a huge budget deficit. Parks and Recreation's a lot like a private business, where about 30% of our operations is program revenue. So this is you signing up for a yoga class or you wanting to have a rafting trip, and so that was completely gone and shut down during that time frame. So we had to get creative on how we operate our parks. So you might see the grass a little bit longer in some of our locations. You might see, some trash that's built up, but we just ask the community to communicate with us and let us know, and we'll get out there because our staff is down. And then also our attractions. So, Riverfront Park, we were able to open up the Sky Ride in phase 2, but our carousel is still remain closed. Our roller skating for our skate ribbon is still closed at this time. And really, all our recreation programs are not happening at this point. We are looking at rolling out day camps under a phase 2 model, and so look forward to that soon.
Okay. We know the time will come where we will get through this pandemic. What are some of the big plans for the future of the city's Parks and Rec department?
Yeah, and so we're excited. Construction, a lot of our construction projects still were able to keep on moving as they were considered essential. So Riverfront Park, we're wrapping up on the redevelopment project. So our 2 last big projects, one is what we call the North Bank. And so this is our Ice Age flood themed playground, over an acre of play features, splash pad. We have a skate park and wheels facility that will be in that location. We'll have a signature basketball court sponsored by Hooptown USA, Hoop Fest, and Multicare, and additional parking. And then that collaboration with the Sportsplex is going to be awesome to see that connection and that synergy that North Spokane has never seen in this location. And the other is in Riverfront Park is what we call an all-inclusive playground. So this is a playground that all abilities, all ages can enjoy, and really is the first playground in our system that will be able to accommodate that. And that was sponsored by Providence Healthcare. And so that'll be opening up this fall as well. And then we're looking towards the future. So we're going to be launching our Parks and Open Space plan that really is going to be community focused and really asking the community, how are we doing? What do you want to see more? What are we missing? And that's going to be a good roadmap for us for the next 10 years.
That's incredible. It's going to be huge for our community. Yeah. In your mind, in your words, what is it that makes the city of Spokane's parks so special?
I think a lot of it starts at the roots. So the history is the commitment and passion that this community has in their parks and open space, and that is told to us time and time again, whether it's investments through bonds or the care that we've seen. And through this pandemic, we've seen a huge increase in our park use. And that just shows this community in a time of need, in a time of an outlet, our parks and our open spaces and our trails are essential and important to this community. And just the wide range that we offer in this county and the beautiful assets that we have, there's not many communities in this country that have the assets that we have in this Spokane County region.
Okay, all right. In our final few moments, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
One, I think, is just thank you. Thank you to the community on being a part of our evolution through this time, and the communication and the understanding and the patience and wanting to come together, and our partners, and we appreciate it. And I think that's one thing that will not go away during this time, is that continued communication and partnership. So just a big thank you for the community out there.
All right. And as we close out our show today, there is a video that you'd like to share with us today. Could you give us a little introduction before we roll the tape?
Yeah, so this is a great video of our staff and the great work they do every day. And when we went into the COVID mode in our core services, we have a lot of staff that are doing things that they haven't done before, or they did when they started their career. So we have recreation supervisors that are cleaning pools. We have directors that are picking up trash and mowing. And so this just shows how we basically came as a core unit, said, here's our essential services, here's what we're doing out there. And so this is just a great glimpse of what's happening on a daily basis.
Okay. All right, well, let's roll the tape.
It's just after 6 a.m. and city workers are already busy waking up Spokane's 87 parks after a long winter's nap. Unfortunately, COVID restrictions quickly cut into parks funding and the number of people available to do the work. Attractions are closed, classes that generate fees have been postponed, and so without that incoming cash flow, Parks and Rec can't afford to hire its temp seasonal help.
And so right now we don't have that 1/3 of that budget. So that's a lot of those funding concerns that we have right now, that we can't ramp up our staffing like we normally do this time of year.
So instead, the Parks Department is relying on its existing staff to provide essential core services, getting the water flowing again, removing graffiti.
And so under that core service model, most importantly is the health and safety of our public and our employees. And then the second is asset protection.
Asset protection means keeping our golf courses green and healthy, preserving pools, things that will help our parks bounce back sooner as COVID restrictions are lifted.
We want to keep these assets protected. There's no better 4 city courses in the entire country, and I know between us here at Qualshan and all the guys at the other courses, these courses are going to come out just as good, if not better, than we did going into this thing.
And there is help on the way. The city of Spokane has scaled back its parking enforcement program, so Officer Jacob McKenna has put down his ticket book to lend a hand picking up trash in our parks.
The way I see it, we're all part of one Spokane community, and it doesn't matter how I'm playing a role in it, how I'm helping out. If there's something that needs to be done, I'm down to do it.
Reopening our parks with limited staff demands determination and leadership. Dave Randolph is the foreman of park operations, but sets the pace for performance by assigning himself some of the most difficult duties.
You know, the grass might be a little bit longer, the restrooms might be closed a little bit longer, but we're looking at other options of portable restrooms. So we just ask that the community works with us and communicates with us.
And that includes keeping a close eye on our parks. Regrettably, the COVID crisis has triggered an increase in vandalism and illegal dumping.
But we're going to work on this together, and we're going to get there, and we're going to have a phased approach to get us back to what we expect from our beautiful park system. Doesn't mean we're not going to get there, it just might take a couple months longer.
Jeff Humphrey, City Cable 5.
I would like to thank Doug and Garrett for being our guests today. We all hope that Spokane County residents will take advantage of all of the many opportunities to get outside and enjoy our beautiful Spokane summer this year. I hope we inspired you and your family to go outside and enjoy what our region has to offer. As a reminder, a video of today's Spotlight can be found on our Spokane County homepage as well as our Spokane County YouTube channel. Or you can listen on the go by downloading our Spokane County Spotlight as a podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes apps. Just go to either of those apps and search Spokane County. I'm your Spokane County Commissioner Josh Kerns, and thank you for joining us today on the Spokane County Spotlight.